This was filmed on location, Australia and Papua New Guinea. Welcome to the Jordan Dan Helicopter Show. Hope you like it. Thanks. I've been interested in helicopters for a long time. That's why I chose helicopters as my presentation. Thank you. What are helicopters? A helicopter is a type of aircraft. A helicopter uses blades which spin. The blades make the helicopter do things which planes can't. Helicopters can go straight up and down, left to right, and hover, and go backwards, and try and do that in a normal plane. Inventor and artist Leonardo da Vinci designed the first helicopter in the 15th century. It took more than 400 years to make a full working helicopter. What are some of the jobs you can have with helicopters? If I'm going to grow up to be a pilot, I better get a job. What can I do? As part of my research for this project, I went to CareFlight Toowoomba. CareFlight uses helicopters to rescue people in medical emergencies. Helicopters are used for other emergency operations as well, such as police and fire. Did you know getting a helicopter pilot license and exams costs over $50,000? Pilot at CareFlight also, before he worked at CareFlight, also was in the army, where you don't have to pay for the lessons, they pay you. Australian Army and Navy are the biggest users of helicopters. Many pilots start their training through the Defence Force. They may work in transport and rescue in the Navy. They may work anywhere the Defence Force may be operational. Also, you can take a job up in tourism, where you can fly people around the countryside. I've been on helicopter flights in Sydney and the Northern Territory. Would you like to see some photos from them? These pictures are from the helicopter in Sydney. Which reminds me, you can also have a job in aerial photographs. In remote parts of Australia, helicopters are used for mustering cattle and other animals. When I was in the Northern Territory, they used helicopters to muster brumbies and wild camels. When these photos were taken, we saw a mob of brumbies. My dad worked in a remote part of Papua New Guinea in the jungle. The rig was at the top of the mountain. They had to move all the gear from down the bottom at the river up to the top of the mountain. How did they do this? Of course, with the helicopters. They used a small helicopter to transport some of the crew from the river up to the top of the mountain where they were working. They used these large helicopters to transport all the supplies, all of the food, and most of the crew and the gear. These little Sikorsky's, they may not look like it, but they can lift a shipping container. As you can see, there is a lot of different jobs you can have with helicopters. What does a tail rotor do, and what's the difference between a conventional helicopter's tail rotor and a no-torque tail rotor? No-TAR stands for no tail rotor. In a conventional helicopter, the tail rotor controls the direction of travel, which stops the helicopter spinning out of control. In a no-TAR helicopter, a fan in the tail boom pushes air through the tail boom and out a special vent. This helps stop the helicopter spinning uncontrollably, but it's also quieter and safer for landing in suburban streets. Police forces in the US, which were quieter and safer for landing in where people might be and suburban areas. Thank you for watching the Jundan Helicopter Show. I hope you learnt some more about my favourite subject. Thank you. Credits: Peter and Luke, my pilot friends, John Dan, and the pilots at Oki Army Base.